Hey Flag fans, I'm Gray, and welcome back to Flag Facts. Today's show is all about America's little-known, unofficial first flag, the Continental Colors. The American flag we know today is easily one of the most iconic symbols in the world. But, as it turns out, the original design was a little different. That's right, folks. This flag, known as the Continental Colors or Grand Union flag, was the first design used to represent the 13 colonies. And yes, that is the British Union flag in the canton. It is also identical to the flag used by the British East India Company, though this is largely considered to be unintentional. So, where did this flag come from? Well, the history is a little fuzzy. While we don't know exactly who created the design, we do know that it first appeared on December 3rd, 1775, when it was raised aboard the USS Alfred by the famous American Navy hero John Paul Jones. Jones later described the occasion saying, "I had the honor to hoist with my hands the flag of freedom, the first time it was displayed on the River Delaware." The flag was also mentioned in a number of eyewitness accounts, where it was described by one British spy as English colors but more striped, and more clearly by another who said, "They have hoisted what they call the American flag, viz. The British Union, with 13 stripes red and white, for its field representing the 13 united colonies." Payment for the specific flag flown by the Alfred was also recorded in the daybook of James Wharton, a Philadelphia ship chandler. The payment went to the flagmaker Margaret Manny for making an ensign. While there was no record from the Continental Congress regarding the flag, it does make sense that the design first appeared on a ship. At that time, the modern concept of a national flag did not exist, and instead, flags were used primarily to identify vessels at sea. The Continental Congress would have understood the need for a unifying symbol to identify American ships, and it is likely that a flag was discussed when the Continental Navy was formally established a few months earlier. As tradition has it, the flag was raised on land a few weeks later on January 1st, 1776, by General George Washington. The flag was raised atop a 76-foot Liberty pole on Prospect Hill, a strategic location that overlooked British-occupied Boston. However, there is some debate among historians over whether or not the flag raised that day was actually the Grand Union flag or, instead, simply the British Union flag. Again, we can turn to eyewitness accounts for some clarity, and the most famous account comes from Washington himself. In a letter to his military secretary, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Reed, Washington wrote, "We had hoisted the Union flag in compliment to the United Colonies." And just what Washington meant when he referred to the Union flag is the source of the debate. Another account by the captain of a British merchant ship also makes it slightly unclear, saying, "They have hoisted the Union flag," which is here supposed to intimate the union of the provinces. A third record by British Lieutenant William Carter perhaps provides the strongest evidence that it was in fact the Grand Union flag, when he wrote that the Americans had hoisted a Union flag above the Continental with 13 stripes. For a deep dive into the debate, I highly recommend checking out these articles in the journal Raven, linked in the description. While we do not know for sure which flag Washington actually raised, we do know that the Grand Union flag likely caused some confusion. Which brings us to the real question. Why did the flag contain British symbolism in the first place? Well, the generally accepted interpretation of the design is that the 13 stripes represented the 13 colonies, and the Union flag represented the colonists' continued loyalty to the British Crown. And at first, that may seem a little odd, but in the early stages of the war, many Americans still thought of themselves as British and held out hope for some form of reconciliation. As the war went on, this sentiment faded from many Americans, and the prospect of independence grew. This was later solidified with the signing of the Declaration of Independence in July of 1776, and on June 14, 1777, with the adoption of the Stars and Stripes as the official flag of the United States. And there you go. That's everything you need to know about the Grand Union flag. So what'd you think? Did Washington really raise it on Prospect Hill? Do you prefer the Stars and Stripes? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're down there, be sure to like and subscribe for more flag-related content just like this. If you're in the market for an American flag or any other flag, head on over to FlagandBanner.com for all your flag flying needs. And as always, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time on Flag Facts.